What's up, my friends out in the World Wide Web? My name is Jesse, we're Viral Thoughts, and today we are talking about the rise of Skywalker and the Aristotle elements of drama again. It's back! For those who don't know what Aristotle's elements of drama are, there's a link that shows a video. It's actually one of my highest viewed videos, so go and check it out. So there are 6 elements of drama, including plot, character, theme, dialogue, music and rhythm, and spectacle. And I also like to add a X factor, which is kind of how the audience received it. Now on to the elements of drama. Number 1 is plot. Now with the plot, this is a bit of it's a quest plot and some chasing MacGuffin plot. Again, with the MacGuffins. Seriously, Star Wars? The MacGuffins again? Okay, so they way overused the MacGuffins this time. But okay, I do want to say first, I did enjoy the movie. It was enjoyable, but I think the MacGuffins, they're always chasing after an item that we may or may not care about. So it's a little rough when it comes to that. So it's kind of a rivalry plot thing going on between Kylo Ren and Rey. It is interesting how their relationship goes together, but I am actually starting to bleed into character now. But first, I'm going to give plot a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Next is character. So on to the character. This is like I said, kind of a rivalry plot between Kylo Ren and Rey. And there's some good dynamics in there. One of my favorite characters was Kylo Ren in this one because of his character arc. Kind of reminded me a little bit of Zuko if you've seen Last Airbender. It's a good show. But yeah, the redemption story, there's a little bit of a redemption story with Kylo. Also, another interesting thing I thought about this is Rey and Kylo have completely switched fighting styles. So the dark side is more about passion and anger and aggression. And the light side is more about passiveness, protectiveness, and just general passivity. I can't say that word very well. But you'll notice in this movie that Kylo is very calm when he fights. Rey, on the other hand, is very aggressive and more emotional when she fights. I wonder if they're trying to say something with this, because they are both tempted by the opposite side of the Force. So thus I give character a 3.5 out of 5 stars. The next element is theme. The theme of this movie, you are not defined by your parents. That could be one. You have choice of your own destiny, and hope keeps things going. I mean, there's a lot of those things that are like themes throughout the entire Star Wars saga that those themes do keep on reoccurring. But this particular one, I would say it's a strong with you are not defined by your parents' bad choices. You can always turn things around. So I ultimately give theme a 3 out of 5 star. The next element is dialogue. The dialogue in this movie, honestly, because I've only seen it once, and that's kind of what I go based off of a lot of these movies. I see it once, and I say what sticks out to me, and I think about these things. So the dialogue, as I think about it, there's not a whole lot of memorable dialogue. I think this primarily is an action flick. So there are some things in there that are good, but there's not necessarily a lot of memorable lines. You notice a lot of the action, not so much the dialogue. So I give dialogue a 2.5 out of 5 star. On to the next element, which is music and rhythm. Now, music with Star Wars is always top notch. It's orchestral music, always has that Star Wars feel, which is always nice to have that Star Wars music when you're going throughout the movie. Other than that, it's business as usual, I'd say. There's some interesting dynamics that do go throughout the movie. So I would ultimately give music and rhythm a 3.5 out of 5 star. The last element of drama is spectacle. The spectacle in the movie is, would be the flashing lights, the lightsaber effects, the fight scenes, all of the graphic effects that happen. And I'd say They really, really tried hard with this. They made it. It looks great, as most of our movies nowadays do. The effects are like as realistic as they can be, given that, I mean, force lightning is not a real thing, but the lightning looks real. So there's that. Other than that, I mean, there's some interesting camera work that I think you discover like a hidden force power, because in the Last Jedi where Rey and Kylo are like seeing each other and kind of interacting with each other, well, that happens a lot more in this movie. So I give Spectacle a 4 out of 5 star, maybe 4.5. It's not revolutionary, I'd say, but it is. I mean, it's good, top notch looking stuff. Now, as far as the X factor goes, the X factor meaning how did the audience receive it? What did it do for the general public? From what I've heard, is people didn't like it as much as other movies. The sequel series tends to get some flack for a lot of, well, Last Jedi did a lot for the sequel's reputation, but I think out of the three, so there's The Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker, I'd say this one was the middle one. So as far as like the best, as far as ranking these movies go, I'd say that Last Jedi is the worst. Next is Rise of Skywalker, and for the first one, The Force Awakens is probably the best. But, I mean, these are fun movies. I mean, it is Star Wars, and I think Star Wars is amazing, and I love watching these. They do have flaws, and I think they do have a lot of potential, and I hope if they continue doing this, I hope they get more character-driven stuff, because a lot of this stuff is action-driven and plot-driven, which is not necessarily bad to be plot-driven, but it's better to be character-driven, in my opinion, where the choice of the characters is what influences the plot, rather than the other way around. Rather than having characters that just do things that the plot need them to do, but having the characters change the plot. That way, you actually get a lot more interesting and unique dynamics throughout the story. So ultimately, I'm giving Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker a 3.5 out of 5 star. I don't know that it's going to be super influential. It is above average, but it's not the end-all movie, I'd say. So is it worth watching? Well, do you like Star Wars? If you like Star Wars, go and watch it. If you're not really into Star Wars, you don't have to watch it. It's a fun movie, but don't take my word for it. Go and watch it for yourself. And remember, guys, it's not what you watch, but how you watch it that makes you a scholar. Check out this new app on my phone.